Hey, welcome back. Today, we're going to look at abundance in a totally different way, one that's about so much more than just positive thinking. It's a blueprint for what our source material calls embodied prosperity. And honestly, it might just change how you think about creating the life you really want.
You know that feeling? You're doing all the things, you're thinking all the positive thoughts, but the results just feel kind of random, right? One month, everything's flowing, and the next, it feels like a total struggle. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place, because we're about to tackle that exact frustration head-on.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on the blueprint for prosperity itself. Then we'll dive right into a practical 6-step pattern. After that, we get to the really juicy stuff, the inner work of being ready to receive, what it actually means to live as a channel, and finally, how to do it all with real integrity.
All right, let's kick things off with part 1, understanding this blueprint for prosperity. And I want to be clear, this isn't about some vague, wishful thinking. This is about a tangible framework you can actually use.
The whole idea here is to shift gears, to move from just hoping for change to actively building a reliable pattern for it. The goal is to make this process predictable, something you can understand so you can actually see it through from start to finish without losing faith.
So now that we have the big picture, let's get into the mechanics. Part 2 is all about the how. We're unpacking the 6-step pattern of manifestation.
So, what do we even mean by manifestation in this context? Well, it's not some magical, mysterious thing. It's a predictable pattern. And understanding these stages is so crucial because it helps you figure out where you are in the process, and this is the big one, it keeps you from quitting right before the magic happens. So here they are, the 6 stages. It all starts in what's called the field. Think of it as this realm of pure potential, where anything is possible. It's like the unformed clay before you've even decided what to make. From there, we move to alignment, which is all about getting your inner world, your beliefs, your energy, totally in sync with what you want. Next up is the word, where you get super clear and declare your intention out loud. Then comes the action. You got to take those inspired, real-world steps. After that, it's time for receiving, which is about opening yourself up and just allowing it to come in. And finally, stabilizing. This is where you ground that new reality and make it your new norm.
Okay, but how do you stay on track through all that? Well, there are some great tools for this. You can create a manifestation map to visualize your journey, kind of like a vision board, but with actual steps. You could also use a signs of movement checklist to notice all the small wins along the way. And this one is huge. You have to actively manage what the source calls delay despair. You know, that frustration when things aren't happening on your timeline.
This brings us to an absolutely critical piece of the puzzle here in part 3, becoming ready to receive. Because look, you can follow all the steps perfectly, but if your internal container isn't ready for what you're asking for, it's just not going to work. Let this one sink in for a second. This is the core of embodied prosperity. I mean, think about it. If you want more money, but the thought of having a large bank account actually makes you anxious, your body is going to find a way to get rid of it. Your nervous system has to feel safe having the very thing you want. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You're either in a state of self-sabotage, all contracted and tight, where you unconsciously push away what you want, or you're in a state of expanded capacity, where your whole being feels open, safe, and genuinely ready to have more.
So how do you actually build that expanded capacity? Through what are called embodiment tools. This could be something as simple as deep breathing to calm your nervous system when you think about your goal. It could be a deliberate identity upgrade, where you start acting and feeling like the person who already has it. Or you could create a somatic anchor, like a physical touch, maybe a hand on your heart, that instantly brings you back to that feeling of safety and abundance.
Okay, so once you have the mechanics and you're working on that inner readiness, the whole blueprint really elevates. Part 4 is about living as a channel. This is the why that gives all of this so much more meaning.
I love the shift in perspective on this slide. Instead of seeing prosperity as just getting stuff, where you're focused on accumulation, you start to see it as being a conduit. It's about being a channel for something bigger to flow through you.
And that's really the ultimate goal here, to align your personal prosperity with a purpose that actually serves the world. When you do that, it's not just about you anymore. Your abundance becomes a force for good, and that's what makes it so much more fulfilling and sustainable.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section, Part 5, Prosperity with Integrity. This is where we bring it all together and figure out how to walk this path in a really grounded, purposeful way.
This phrase is so important. Service without martyrdom. I mean, come on, how many of us have burned ourselves out completely trying to serve others? This is such a powerful reminder that true service is sustainable. It's meant to be joyful and has to honor our own well-being too.
So here are a few final, practical ways to put this all into action. You can create a purpose vow, like a personal mission statement. You can practice what's called channel meditation to connect with that higher purpose. And you can establish clear commitments, like donating a certain percentage or dedicating time to a cause you believe in, just to make sure your actions are always aligned with your deepest values.
So if you take just one thing away from our time together today, let it be this. True embodied prosperity isn't just one thing, it's a complete journey. It integrates the mechanics of how, the inner work of who, and the deep meaning of why. You need all three. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Is prosperity something you have to chase and grasp at, or is it something you simply allow to flow through you? This whole blueprint suggests it's the latter, a state of being you cultivate from the inside out. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Now go out there and embody your prosperity.